What is MLA Style? MLA Style refers to a set of rules for formatting, writing, and citing your research for an academic paper or project. It's commonly used in English and other humanities courses. The style rules are published in the MLA Handbook, written by the Modern Language Association.
The cover for the MLA Handbook 9th edition is displayed mid-screen.
It's updated every few years, and the handbook is currently in its 9th edition. There are two parts to citing in MLA: in-text citations and works cited entries.
On one half of the screen, the heading In-Text Citations appears with the text Author, Page, in parentheses beneath it. On the other half of the screen, the heading Works Cited is above an illustrated bibliography.
Both parts need to be included for your citations to be correct.
A sentence appears in plain black text. Many agree that, open quotes, vanilla is the best flavor of ice cream, close quotes. It is followed in red by the text, open parentheses, Garcia, 22, close parentheses.
In-text citations appear directly after you use information within the body of your work itself.
The example in-text citation, Garcia 22, moves next to an illustration of an academic paper. A red arrow was drawn from the paper to an illustration of a bibliography with an example citation next to it. Garcia, cherry, period. Ice cream flavor study, in quotation marks, period. Journal of Ice Cream Research, volume 10, number 1, pp period 20-2, period. Journal of Ice Cream Research is in italics.
They are brief citations to get your reader to the Works Cited page, where they can find out more information.
A red circle is drawn around 22 in the in-text citation, Garcia 22.
And tell your reader what part of an article, book, or video that you used. The in-text citation usually consists of the author or creator's last name and the page number that the fact or quote came from, in parentheses, followed by a period. If there's no page number, just include the last name of the author. For video or audio sources, use a timestamp instead of a page number. If there are two authors, list them both. If there are 3 or more authors, list the first author, followed by the abbreviation et al. If there's no author, use the title of the work instead. The Works Cited page lists all works that you cited within your project.
Multiple examples of the same in-text citation, Garcia 21, fly out of an illustration of an academic paper.
You might cite one article several times throughout your paper.
The in-text citations all fly into an example citation that appears next to an illustration of a bibliography, and then disappear.
But it only needs to be included once in your Works Cited. A Works Cited entry provides the full details of how to locate that work. Citations are arranged in alphabetical order by the first piece of information in the list. The information you need to cite a work depends on the type of information. MLA uses the language of source and container when building citations. A source is the piece of information that you are citing. Some sources might be inside of larger pieces of information, which MLA refers to as containers. To cite a source, you need to describe the source itself as well as each of its containers. For example, your source might be an article that was published inside of a scholarly journal, but then you access that journal through a bigger container, a database. MLA uses a set of core elements to cite pieces of information.
A list of the MLA core elements appear: author, title of source, title of container, contributor, version, number, publisher, publication date, location.
When citing a source, fill in the elements needed for your source and leave unnecessary fields blank.
The words author, contributor, and version are grayed out on the list of core elements.
In other words, if the data is missing, skip it and move on to the next.
The word author moves from the top of the list to stand on its own in a new sentence.
The first element is the author, or the primary creator of the work that you are citing.
The phrase title of the source moves from the top of the list to be next to the word author.
Next is the title of the source, which is the title of the work that you are citing.
A bracket is drawn around the remainder of words in the core element list: title of container, contributor, version, number, publisher, publication date, location.
After describing the source, we need to describe the container or containers where the source lives.
A yellow and green mailing envelope flies onto the screen and flips over to display the front where an address goes. The address is added onto the front of the envelope: John Smith, 123 Main Street, Anytown, Texas.
Think of it kind of like a mailing address. You start off with the smallest part, like a house number. Then it keeps getting bigger and bigger. The street, the city, the state, and so on. This is where the information will vary, depending on the type of information that it is. 3 of the most common works you'll cite are articles from a journal, websites, and books. To cite a print book, you only really need 4 pieces of information: the author or authors, the title, the publisher, and the publication date. Author last name, comma, author first name, period. Title of the book in italics, period. Publisher, comma, publication date, period.
An example citation appears for a book: Prothero, Donald R. Fantastic Fossils, period. Columbia UP, 2020, period. The title Fantastic Fossils is in italics.
If it's an ebook, you'll also need to describe the container or database where you retrieved the ebook. Database name, comma, URL, period.
The citation continues with EBSCO ebook collection in italics and a long URL starting with https://.
Citing an article gets a bit more complicated, since they often are within 2 containers. An article is inside of a journal, which is then inside of a database. First, we describe the article itself. Author last name, comma, author first name, period. Title of article in quotation marks, period.
An example citation for an article appears: Curie, Philip J., period. Celebrating dinosaurs, their behavior, evolution, growth, and physiology, in quotation marks, period.
Then we describe container 1, the journal. Title of journal in italics, comma, volume number, comma, issue number, comma, date, comma, page numbers, period.
The citation continues following the title: Canadian Journal of Earth Sciences in italics, comma, volume 60, comma, number 3, comma, 2023, comma, pp period 263-93, period.
Finally, we have to describe the second container, the database where we access the journal article. Database name in italics, comma, and either the DOI, or digital object identifier, or a permanent link to the article.
After the page numbers, the citation adds academic search complete in italics, comma, https://doi.org/10 period 1139 /CJES -2022 -0131 period.
If the article has a DOI,
the database record for the example journal article on celebrating dinosaurs from the database Academic Search Complete shows the information for the article, including the title, author, and source information. A red circle is drawn around the DOI field.
It will be listed in the database record for that article. Citing websites can get tricky.
An illustration of a web page appears mid-screen. The questions author and date fly out from the illustration.
Since they often don't have consistent information. For web pages, use as much information as you have and skip the rest. The citation for a web page starts the same as for a book or article, with the author. Author last name, comma, author first name, period. Title of web page in quotation marks, period.
An example citation for a website begins with a placeholder reading no author for this web page in the position that the author's name would usually go. After it, the citation continues with the title Dinosaur Facts, in quotes, period.
Many times you won't be able to find an author for a web page.
The author placeholder disappears, and the title Dinosaur Facts moves to the beginning of the citation.
In that case, start with the title of the web page, in quotes, followed by a period. The web page that you're citing lives on a larger website or container. Title of the website in italics, comma, date of publication or copyright or last updated date, comma, link to the web page, period.
The citation continues after the title, American Museum of Natural History, in italics, comma, 2021, comma, https://www.amnh.org/dinosaurs/dinosaur-facts, period.
these are just a few common types of citations. Not everything will fit this pattern. For more examples of citing different types of resources in MLA Style, visit the LSC Library's citation help pages.
LSC Libraries Citation Help, https://www.lonestar.edu/library/citation-help.